Hello and welcome back to my channel. Last time on Princess TV, I told you about the ending of Sophia the First, and today I'm going to talk about the conclusion of another princess cartoon. We are the warriors standing up at evil's sword. We are the ones who fight for the fate of the world. We are the Mysticons. It's barely been over a year since Sisters in Arms, the series premiere of Mysticons, and we've already arrived at the show's short-lived finale. They've been dropping like flies lately, haven't they? Many of my favorite television series in the past have only lasted for 2 seasons, but they usually take some time in between for the writers to figure out where the story will go next. That, unfortunately, was not the case for Mysticons. It jumped through 2 seasons containing a total of 40 episodes with virtually no downtime in between, leading up to the series finale called The Age of Dragons. Now, Nickelodeon has been really bad about making this show consistently available to its online viewers. I don't watch TV on a regular television. I watch everything online, and they, to this day, have still not posted The Age of Dragons on their website, which was very frustrating. Fortunately, I managed to find it on Amazon, but the lack of availability led to a smaller fan base than the show could have had. Even though Mysticon started out with a strong pilot, it has had somewhat uneven pacing from the second episode onward. There are certain important emotional moments that get skipped right over, such as Malveron asking Arcana on a date, Emerald and Casey's relationship switching from M pursuing Casey to Casey pursuing M, Gawain learning that Zarya is his new stepsister, Drake City's reaction to learning the identities of the Mysticons, and most importantly of all, Queen Goodfey confronting Zarya for the first time upon learning that she was her long-lost forgotten daughter. All of these scenarios would appeal primarily to a female audience because they are purely emotional moments, unlike the show's many action sequences, which have a wider appeal due to boys liking action and girls still relating to the all-female main cast. The reason for this focal shift, of course, harkens back to the show's origins, in which it was originally created about a group of male action heroes and was targeted toward boys. The shift in the series' direction, when the cast was gender swapped, created the struggle of balance between action and emotion. They wanted it to be an action show, but one that was female-oriented, hence the inclusion of princesses. Yet, if they made it too feminine, it would lose sight of its roots. I do admit that the action sequences were still a refreshing shift from some of the confusing, sparkly attacks that you normally see in magical girl shows that have no intention of attracting an action-seeking male audience. Of the last set of episodes that aired, my personal favorite was Eternal Starshine of the Mage's Mind, because that was the only one that did not seem to shy away from or skip over the more emotional moments. It also provided some terrific closure for Proxima, who was almost a princess but wound up getting screwed over by some trick writing and then turning evil for a while as a direct result. In my opinion, Proxima had the best character arc on the show because it was so easy to relate to her loneliness and feelings of being unappreciated by her peers. I also loved that Arcana admitted for the first time in that episode that she had a tendency to be selfish and inconsiderate of others without always being aware of it. Even though she had a good excuse to act that way due to her tragic loss, she doesn't always set the best example for a modern princess. It was nice to see her finally put her differences aside and make up with Proxima, who was more than deserving of it. I was also glad to see Proxima fight off the mask of the spectral hand, as evil was never a good color on her. Mallory of the Vexicons was far more suited for the mask than Proxima ever was. The series finale, Age of Dragons, saw some sibling rivalry for the first time between Arcana and her newly discovered twin sister but longtime friend Zarya. It was great that the king and queen got their bodies restored before the series was cancelled because no one wanted to see it end in a world where Gawain would stay king. Arcana was understandably jealous of the attention that her mother gave Zarya, but I still miss seeing Queen Goodfey's reaction the moment when she first learned that she had another daughter who she forgot about because of a spell. Moments that got glossed over, such as this one, are what prevented Mysticons from being a great show instead of just a good one. I was still pleased overall with the conclusion of the Royal Good Fae women's story, as they will now have the rest of their lives to form a healthy family dynamic. However, I feel that Arcana and Gawaine's displayed very little growth over the course of the show as Drake City's future rulers. Zarya's character arc was marginally better thanks to her morality struggle as a former sky pirate. When I tweeted series creator Sean Jara about ending the show, he felt that it was a shame because they were just getting started. It's true that there were several characters' backstories that remained unexplored, such as Malveron's history with his evil sister Tasma, and the details of Piper's past and future. When the series began, she was my favorite Mysticon, but she became more of a comic relief than a main character as we spent more time learning about Arcana, Zarya, and Emerald's families. At this point, I would have to say that Proxima was probably my favorite character in the show, because her story felt the most complete. Even though the pacing was uneven at times, it was still a fun ride, and I'm glad I got to go on it. The final episode of Mysticons wrapped up cleanly enough to be satisfying, while at the same time remaining open to future adventures, many of which are being continued in novel form. Long live the Mysticons! That's it for today, guys! Thanks for watching my channel! If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which princess or princesses you'd like to hear about next. Check the video description for all relevant links, and remember to always follow your dreams.